Hello people, welcome to your lesson. So today we're starting on page 75, okay? Let's repeat the new content. Morphine, antibiotic, a prescription, to prescribe, mortality, to feel sorry for, acupuncture, underage, stereotype, a waiting room, to allow, to deal with, a side effect, a breakthrough, to deny, tobacco, a germ, to counteract, a flatmate, usage, premature, to dismiss. Very good, guys. Morphine is very similar to Portuguese, okay? It's the name of a drug, a medicine. It's a drug made from opium, okay? And it's used to relieve pain, okay? In severe cases, okay? Antibiotic, also very similar to Portuguese. It's also a drug, a medicine that is used to fight some illnesses, okay? Some bacterias. A prescription is the noun, to prescribe is the verb. Prescribe is what a doctor does, okay? When he asks us to take a specific kind of medicine. For example, here in Brazil, antibiotics can only be sold if when you go to the pharmacy, you show the prescription, okay? So it's the doctor's order that you can take that medicine, okay? To prescribe is the verb. Mortality, very similar to Portuguese, is the condition of being mortal, okay? Or we can also use mortality to talk about the rate that people die. How many people died this year? Is it higher or lower than last year's? Okay? To feel sorry for. To feel sorry for is when you feel sadness or you feel sympathy or disappointment for something that had been done or something that another person had been suffering, okay? Normally, unpleasant, of course. Acupuncture is also very similar to Portuguese, okay? It's used to treat pain, okay? It's an ancient technique to treat pain, and it comes from countries in Asia, especially from Asia, okay? They use needles on the skin to make this kind of treatment. Underage is an adjective that we use for people who, here in Brazil, are under the age of 18, okay? In other countries, this age may vary, okay? Stereotype, just like Portuguese. Stereotype is a believed idea, a believed concept that something is that way, okay? Normally is about people. For example, the stereotype of a good father is a father that works all day, that comes at night comes home at night, okay? A waiting room. A waiting room is a room where we wait, okay? A waiting room is very common in hospitals, in doctors' offices, okay? To allow. To allow, guys, is a synonym for the verb to permit, okay? To allow, to permit. To give permission to someone. To deal with. To deal with means to manage something, okay? It could be, or to do business. For example, is a person that buys and sells cars. So it can mean to do business, to deal, okay? So a car dealer buys and sells cars. It's not only always nice, okay? Because a drug dealer is a person that sells drugs, illegal drugs, okay? To deal with can also mean to give or share something out, especially when you're talking about cards in casinos, okay? So the name of the person that deals the cards is a card dealer, okay? To deal with means to deal, actually, means to concern oneself or itself, okay? For example, a lawyer who deals with real estate law, he's specialized in real estate law, or a lawyer that is specialized in criminal law, he deals with criminals, with crimes, okay? To deal with can also mean to take action with regard to someone or something, okay? For example, we can say that normally the mother is who deals with things or topics about the children's school, okay? So he has to manage it, she has to deal with the everyday, the day-to-day of the child, okay? A side effect. A side effect is what happens, some drugs have slight side effects and some drugs have heavy side effects, okay? A side effect is normally unpleasant, okay? And it happens at the same time with the main effect of the drug. So the main effect is to kill the pain, normally. Okay, let's talk about aspirin, for example. Okay, so the main effect is to kill the pain. But aspirin can have side effects, effects that are not good. Okay? Or a side effect is an expected result or an expected result of one situation. Okay? It can be called a side effect. A breakthrough. A breakthrough is a noun, and we use this word to describe when an important discovery or an important event that helps to improve a situation or that provides an answer to a problem. A breakthrough is normally a great idea, okay? To deny. To deny is to say that something is not true, so you are denying it. No, that's not true. I deny. To refuse, or that means to say no, or to not admit that you have the knowledge, the responsibility, or the feelings, etc. Okay? Tobacco, just like Portuguese, okay? It's the main ingredient, I don't know if you can say that, but it's the thing that we have in the cigarettes, tobacco. A germ, also very similar to Portuguese. A germ is a very small organism, living organism, and it normally causes diseases, okay? To counteract. To counteract means to reduce or to remove effect of something unwanted by producing an opposite effect. Okay, so if someone acts against you, you can counteract. Okay, act back. A flatmate. A flatmate is a person that shares an apartment with another person. They are flatmates. They live together, but not necessarily they are friends or colleagues. They can be only flatmates or roommates. Okay, in some cases when the flat or the room is very small. Usage. Usage is the noun of the verb to use. Okay? So it's the way something is treated or the way something is used. Premature. Premature is also very similar to Portuguese and it means that it happened too soon. It happened before planned, or before it should be natural, or before the time that it was programmed to happen. To dismiss. To dismiss can be to let somebody go, especially when we're talking about a job. Okay, a company can dismiss an employee. Okay? To formally ask or order someone to leave, to go. When we talk about law, for example, when we use the word dismiss, for example, when a judge dismisses a case, he or she formally drops the trial, often because there is not enough proof that someone is guilty. So, in a case, in a court of law, if the lawyers don't produce enough evidence or proof that the person is guilty, okay, the judge can simply dismiss the case. So there are no proof nor evidence that this person has done something wrong, so I am dismissing the case, okay? And to dismiss can also mean that deciding that something or someone is not important and is not worth considering. Dismiss. So I won't care about that person, okay? Because this person is not worth my attention or my worries or whatever you want. Okay? Very nice? Let's move on then, guys. Let's repeat. Morphine is prescribed to patients to deal with their pain, but a side effect can be addiction. There was a breakthrough in the usage of antibiotics to counteract the virus that was spreading worldwide. I don't feel sorry for him. I think that he shouldn't have been drinking alcohol when he is underage. The nurse asked the man's flatmate to stay in the waiting room whilst she got the antibiotic prescription. I'm sorry, guys. Mortality rates had been greatly reduced by the time the government had completed 3 years in power. To counteract the woman's constant usage of tobacco for the last 10 years, the nurse tried to encourage her to reduce slowly the number of cigarettes she was using. If you were allowed to smoke in any place, would you? I can't deny that it was an amazingly produced film, but I still didn't like the stereotypes that the director made. Acupuncture is a common alternative medicine used to reduce the feeling of discomfort or pain. Sophie's friend had gone to her house to visit her after she had had a premature baby. Only some antibiotics can be used to counteract germs, and its premature usage was dismissed by the scientist. Let's practice. Guys, don't forget to pause the video before I answer the question, okay? Why do people feel sorry for animals in zoos? People feel sorry for animals in zoos because they are in cages and they should be in nature. What are doctors nowadays trying to avoid prescribing if not really necessary? Doctors nowadays are trying to avoid prescribing antibiotics if not really necessary. Are there many stereotypes in films and TV series? Can you give me an example? Sorry. Yes, there are many stereotypes in films and TV series. An example is Sherlock Holmes. What can governments do to reduce the premature mortality rate in a developing country? Governments can reduce the premature mortality rate in a developing country by investing in public health and reducing poverty. Where does tobacco come from? Tobacco comes from the dried leaves of the tobacco plant, which is grown in 30 countries worldwide, such as Brazil, China, and Turkey. Have you ever had acupuncture? Do you know if it hurts? Yes, I have had acupuncture and it doesn't hurt, guys. If I was 10 years old and bought a bottle of alcohol, would it be illegal? Yes, if you were 10 years old and bought a bottle of alcohol, it would be illegal because it would be underage. In what places can many germs be found? Many germs can be found in public places such as train stations, airport buses, public bathrooms, and hospitals. If someone drank a lot of alcohol at a party, what might the side effects be the next day? If someone drank a lot of alcohol at a party, the side effects the next day might be dryness in the mouth, a headache, vomiting. That's what we call hangover, guys. Why are large amounts of morphine only used in end-of-life care or extreme pain situations? Large amounts of morphine are normally used in end-of-life care or extreme pain situations because it is a highly addictive drug that needs to be controlled carefully by a nurse or a doctor. Is it difficult to deal with everyday stress? What do you do to help yourself? Yes, it's sometimes difficult to deal with everyday stress. I go to therapy to help myself. And I take long showers too. I know that's not good for the environment, but I do, guys. Are you allowed to vote in a country when you are 13 years old? No, you are not allowed to vote in my country when you are 13 years old, as you are underage. You are allowed to vote when you are 16 years old in our country, which is still underage, but it's allowed. What are the prisoners denied when they are sent to jail? Prisoners are denied their freedom when they are sent to jail. What can we do to counteract or stop germs from making us ill? We can wash our hands well, keep our houses clean, wash and prepare food properly, and drink clean water to counteract or stop germs from making us ill. Who Who managed to make a breakthrough in the treatment of flu viruses with antibiotics? Dr. Paul Windsor managed to make a breakthrough in the treatment of flu viruses and antibiotics. What type of flatmate would you imagine is the most difficult type to live with? The type of flatmate that I imagine would be the most difficult type to live with is a person that doesn't clean the house. Where do the patients wait until the nurse or doctor calls them? Patients wait in the waiting room until the nurse or doctor calls them. If you read an article that you thought was incorrect, would you believe it or dismiss it? If I read an article that I thought was incorrect, I wouldn't believe it, but I would dismiss it or question it. Is expensive ski equipment expected to last a lot of usage? Yes, expensive ski equipment is expected to last a lot of usage. What does a doctor give you if you need to use antibiotics? A doctor gives me a prescription if I need to use antibiotics. What can you do to counteract the side effects of travel sickness medication? You can drink coffee to counteract the side effects of travel sickness medication. Until recently, what country denied its female citizens the right to drive? Until recently, the country which denied its female citizens the right to drive was Saudi Arabia. Why didn't the nurse allow the visitor to enter the patient's room instead of waiting in the waiting room? The nurse didn't allow the visitor to enter the patient's room instead of waiting in the waiting room because she was giving the patient a shower. Are there many germs that antibiotics cannot fight? Yes, there are many germs that antibiotics cannot fight. How many germs are estimated to be found on a public toilet seat? Millions of germs are estimated to be found on a public toilet seat. Who do you feel most sorry for in society and why? I feel most sorry for the elderly in society because the government doesn't care about the elderly. And sometimes the family doesn't either, so. If someone found a cure for cancer, would this be considered an amazing breakthrough in science? Yes, if someone found a cure for cancer, this would be considered an amazing breakthrough in science. What types of illness is acupuncture commonly used for? Acupuncture is commonly used to help with pain such as headaches, backaches, and dental pain. Okay guys, this was today's new content, okay? Please study and I'll see you next lesson. Bye-bye.